Season's greetings.
Hell no.
Oh.
More like season's beatings.
Oh. That's more like it.
Yeah, that's more my style. We got a lot to talk about on this joyous month.
Yes. Welcome to our
Holiday special.
Christmas episode.
Yes, or whatever you celebrate. I know somebody getting a gift out there.
So Christmas is about, well, like he said, whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate.
We respect it all.
Yeah.
We're happy that you're healthy.
Gathering.
Joy. It's not about the gifts.
Giving.
All of that.
It is about the gifts, I feel like. Sometimes, it's nice to give. It's nice to receive gifts.
I know. And,
all of it.
I'm a giver.
Yeah.
In many senses of the words. In my daily life, in my career, in the bedroom, but I also have a gift to give. Tracey, what are my initials?
AB?
Yeah. What does AB stand for?
Anthony Basquin?
Wrong answer. Assault and battery. Because I got something for y'all to unwrap up in here. I'm about to uppercut a bunch of y'all bitches. Now let's just get right into it. Hold on.
We have to.
Little nativity. Where's my shit at?
Our ugly Christmas sweaters. There we go.
Yay! Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus.
You like mine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks like the person we about to talk about today. She know who she is.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's why I'm mad.
Previous episodes we have talked about, it's hard to find in any salon owner or stylist or any field that you're in. It's really hard to find good help. And actually, a few episodes we've stuck up for this person, and
as you usually do.
Sure. And you want to be the better person and the bigger person or whatever. And this whole episode is not just about this person. But so our episode today was supposed to be about
hot cocoa, snowmen, favorite movies. We'll get there.
Yeah. We're going to do the favorite movies, which we still can. And then, why it's hard as a stylist during Christmas. And, but all that's out the window. For now. So, I don't even know how to start this because this is just like new information.
I mean, it's breaking news.
Yeah, it's not like total breaking news. We've just been the better people.
Yeah.
With this person.
Which is probably why we get on here and rant, because there's so much pent up in rage.
Right.
Anger.
It isn't like we hate everybody. We're not total Grinches. We just...
Today I said, this is why people get bullied.
Yeah.
Or like reverse bullying. I don't know what it is. So the backstory is an assistant of ours. They got let go. They started off great, I guess. Did a bunch of shady things. And then we catch wind that they're teaching a class. Now, mind you, they didn't show us pretty much any skill set other they could wash and kind of blow dry hair. They asked us what they should do. We gave them the tools of the trade. They still kind of never did it. They tried to order hair. You have to have a license. We said, hey, a work permit, whatever.
Yeah,
all the
they
things.
said, what's the Black Friday sale code?
Just give me the code. It was just like this circular thing. Will show me a license. I'll approve it over the cell. You ain't even got to go through the email, the website, whatever.
And it's like, well, I told you that I passed my test when I worked there. Okay.
We found your expired license.
Right.
So then the person's
just
like,
send me a screenshot where it says you passed the test. I don't need a legit. I know sometimes it takes a while to get your license.
Took me a year. It was the times we lived in, but you could call the board and verify this. There was a lot of idiotic things that were going on. I'm not saying this person is stupid, because I actually think they're really calculated and manipulative. My words, not hers, whatever. I said what I said. But this person is like asking for the code. You get verified, you get a promo code, you put it in there. Like a dummy, they're like, never mind, I found the code. Why would you tell that? Then we get the order and it's like, no, your account's blocked or whatever.
So one slipped through the cracks. She made an order. It's fine. Comes back in 2 weeks later and was like, do you like have any tape-ins or something? Because all the extensions that I put in just don't blend. And I'm like, we try not to really, what color of tape-ins do you need? We have a few shades left, but we're trying to sell out of them.
And again, this person, we've kind of told the story before. We don't really know what order this is going to air, but you might have heard the story before. We asked her to show what she knew how to do, and she never like finished like even a quarter of a row of extensions, but would beg to like let her assist us.
Like, when do I start taking extension clients? When did your other assistant start helping you sew?
And Caitlin's good, and she only started recently, like kind of helping. This is after
and then
like a
so
year.
I'm like, show me on a mannequin your work. Well, this is a mannequin. It's just, it was like she didn't want to do it. Well, I didn't bring my stuff today.
I do
my
mom's weave.
Whatever.
Bring her in. Well, as you know, being in any field of the
so she comes in and says, do you have tape-ins? And I'm like, we only have a few shades. Which color? She says, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, so are you going to color them? Do they have blonde hair and it doesn't matter if they're dark? Can you put them in? Like, what? So then we hear, because we still talk to a lot of people. I mean, hello, Oklahoma City's
community,
tiny. We talk to people all the time that are like, hey, I just started hair school. What's your assistant program? Just wanted to know for the future. Not saying that everybody's knocking down our door to work with us or for us or anything, but they probably do their due diligence and ask salons, so we're just like talking and word gets around. They're like, okay, well, a girl recently assisted for you. Okay, yes, her name comes up. But she said she didn't work there anymore, so I was wondering if you had any spots open in the next couple months. Mm-hmm. She went to go work at Salon XYZ in Yukon. That's not the name of the salon, because there probably is a salon in Yukon called Salon XYZ. Well, what do you know? I have a friend who works there. And I'm like, hey, does this girl work here? Because this girl was saying, oh, yeah, I quit working at Lotus in June. I now work at this salon.
And I love it.
And I love it. It's like the best salon to work at. So,
and maybe it is for you.
And maybe it is. But it's like, okay, so you're already kind of sideways
dogging us.
Right.
That's what it turns into, is straight up dogging.
So the girl that I asked, I'm like, do you know this person? She said no. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, the salon in Yukon is actually a big boutique in front, and then they have suites in the back. Mm-hmm. And she was like, no, what's her name? Show me a picture. I say all that. She goes, no, she doesn't work here. So immediately, that's weird. Mm-hmm. Then she says, wait a minute. That girl actually comes in all the time in our boutique.
Yeah, she's like, I love plank and paddle, blah, blah, blah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, that's awkward. But, maybe she's just trying to save face for herself. Maybe she doesn't want to say that she actually got let go from our salon. And then so today.
Well, quick backstory. We catch wind.
Yes.
That she is putting on a class. And we're like, do we care? No, not really.
No.
We're like, what does she have to teach?
Right.
She didn't show us shit. And then we find out that she's teaching at a school.
Right.
And then it hits us and we were like, let's go infiltrate. Of course, we really don't have time for that.
No,
and
we don't have
care
time for that
much, but that would just be funny.
I personally don't care. Like, if somebody took our class and they've been doing extensions for a few months, a year, and they've picked it up really good and their work is good.
Ain't no gatekeeping.
Right. By all means, say, these are the methods that I learned from Lotus in June, and these are the methods that I like.
Truth be told, that's how I learned.
Yeah,
Somebody was excited about the class. They said, hey, I can't teach, but I'll show you. And I said, cool, and I ran with it.
Right, and that does happen, and that's perfect. I mean, like it's not a big deal, because we also talk about, share the wealth, share the knowledge a little bit. I get like having,
but when you're like charging and you ain't got no, which we talked about this too. It's like, and again, I fault the place that let her put this on, because I'm like,
oh, definitely,
this is a new stylist. You didn't like, what are their credentials? What are their background? I mean, I assume she got paid to something, because I'm like, what interest?
Well, she just graduated from this school in May.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. So then we're kind of laughing about it. In the back of my mind, I'm like, this is kind of disrespectful. I'm like, I just hope that she doesn't say our name because I don't want it to look bad on us. Like, oh, this is everything that I learned here. And then
because she was
trash.
like, y'all taught us so much. This is mutual. I just don't think this is the best fit for me. Blah, blah, blah. And we gave her resources. Like, these are the salons we think would be great for you. Mm-hmm. We were nice, even through our frustration, which is how you should be. I'm not like...
And we did let her go. And it wasn't just like, bitch, you're fired. It was like, some things have come up we don't really agree with.
And concrete things. It wasn't even like, we don't like you. It was just kind of like, okay.
We gave her many chances.
One is, again, too, was like, quick story. She didn't know which direction she wanted to go. Booth rent, commission, whatever. And then she kind of got caught up in this situation where she wanted to like work at the salon. I had suggested do a day rate because she just kept talking about it. And I was like, just ask for a day rate. And then she ends up like trying to work at another salon. And
but then not telling us.
And then I was just like, then somehow I got thrown under the bus. And I said, here's the deal. She was talking about working somewhere else for the night. And that's why I asked her to ask you. She's like, no, it wasn't even like that. I was just like, my friend suggested, and we were like, but how would your friend know?
Right. But the thing is as an owner or even like non-owners or whatever, it's hard when someone like that is on the surface very nice,
agreeable, pleasant,
yet very kind of, not confident in their work. She's only 18. So then I look like a complete asshole if I'm 40 saying like, what's your problem? But what's your problem? So
then
we let her out. We did let her go. We've never talked about that. We did let her go because she said, I don't want to do booth rent because I don't want to take clients, or I don't want to pay for a booth if I don't have any clients that day or that week. Okay,
and
well, none of us do, but that's just how it is.
Made for her. It was like, hey, I won't charge you for a booth if you want to do wash and blow dries to build your clientele and get something like, well, how am I going to make money? And it was like, oh.
I was going to pay her like just to come in and do washes and blow dries.
Correct. She's a paid assistant.
For $10 an hour to be able to put it on her social media, use all of my products, use whatever, just to get a portfolio somewhat out there, to talk to people, to network. She thought it was a bad idea because she was like, I'm not getting paid enough. Like, she thought I was the one screwing her over. And I'm like,
and she kept changing her schedule. And then she wouldn't come in. And then she had another job that she thoroughly enjoyed and kind of was picking that over.
Which is totally fine.
But again, it raised the question of, do you really want to do hair? And
right.
She got offended that we would ask that. And I was like, but your heart isn't in it. You won't even post pictures.
Right. She said
she wouldn't repost what we would post.
We would tag her and stuff that she didn't even do. If she was just assisting me that day, I would just tag her in it. And she's just like, I would just rather pay someone to run my social media. And I'm like, so you want to pay someone to run your social media, but you don't want to pay booth rent? And she said she didn't want to be commissioned because she didn't want people taking her money. And
she loved men's cuts. And I said, girl, you could do all men's cuts one day at a price point like $20 and pay your part-time booth rent off of like half a day's work. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what?
And it was just all this just weirdness.
Very weird.
And then so it was like, it's not working.
And triangulating, because she was like telling each of us like a different story. And
right. It was just too much. So we were like, hey, this just isn't the right fit. We like you as a person. We think the other job, hobby, whatever you're doing is probably seeming more important to you.
You seem more passionate about it. Again, offense. So we tell you all this backstory to find out that literally today she taught a class. And the first words that we have heard out of her mouth is, I worked at Lotus in June. I quit because I hated the environment. And then she said, but I learned a lot, and so I'm going to show you everything that I've learned. But
again, like, okay.
In her departure, she said, I have no bad words to say about you. You guys are amazing. I just don't think that I would thrive here because I just need more direction. And we were like, everything we told you to do, you said no to.
Right.
And she had like...
She only wanted to do what she wanted to do when she wanted to do it.
Which is...
We weren't even giving her constructive criticism. That we didn't even get to that point. It was just like, okay, if you want to start taking extension clients, I mean, she could have been sewing extensions the whole time in hair school, and then she could have just came out and
because even when I first started, I said, but you were like, can you do a weave? And I was like, yeah, here's some of my pictures. And you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not that hard. She didn't even want to showcase her work, show us her work. She was just like, well, I'm like, okay, but you're going to have to do this for any owner or how about any client? You know, they want to see your good work or lack thereof. So it's just frustrating for someone, well, for people like us, because it's like she's telling this to a huge school of like 110 students. So it's like, not that we're needing assistance and needing all of these people or needing all these new talents to come in, but it's like immediately all of those students are going to have that in the back of their mind. Ooh, what kind of environment is Lotus in June? Because they don't know any better.
Well, just think 100 people know at least one person, and then they spread, you know, a trinket of something negative, and then it just kind of gets out of hand. Not
and then
that we're
one
super
person,
worried
and then
about
usually
it,
people will add on something.
Correct. Telephone gets really distorted, and it's just like, I think what really gets me is that, like, you know, anybody who's proud of the things they do don't want to hear it talked about negatively, especially when it's untrue. And we're pretty fair. We're like fair 99% of the time.
Yes.
The other 1% is just shit talking because it's fun.
That's why I wanted you and Caitlin to be there whenever we did just let her go, not to bully her or anything, because it wasn't even like that. Honestly, I felt bullied when she left. She was like, well, you guys didn't give me any guidance anyways. And I'm like,
and literally it was a doorknob disclosure, because it was like 15 minutes and it went well. And we were like, is there anything else? She was like, yeah, you didn't help me when I asked you. And we were like, huh?
We're like, all of this is so confusing to us.
And even Caitlin, who is a few words and not confrontational, she actually said the best thing. And she was like, that's not...
No, she was like, we've tried to help you this whole time. You just
don't
want to...
I've sat down with you. Like, you were supposed to take my place. And I answered every question, and you still just didn't want to do it.
Yeah. And so, bravo, Caitlin. But then, so it's like, after all of that, I'm like, okay, now I know that I'm not just hearing things in my mind. Like, I've got two other people saying, no, like, we all did what we could. And
it was kind of like an HR thing where it was just kind of like you need a witness to make sure.
You do, because I've been in the situation before where somebody left really rudely and tried to do things like that and talk bad about me. And I was like nothing but nice. And I just text her and I'm like, and I just went off. And she's like, this is why. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking why. Wait till I see you. I was like pissed off. I was like, I've done nothing but be nice and help you all the time. I'm like, and then this is what you're sending people. That's another thing. Don't be, because screenshots can go far.
For real.
I'm like, you're talking trash about me. Like,
well, I was saying you have plenty of screenshots, because I'm like, there were so many non-responses to the messages you would send her, and all like the instruction was like, you didn't tell me anything.
And this isn't just to, I mean, I don't know. I was really annoyed whenever I heard it, because I'm like,
it's just fresh. You know?
Right. It is fresh. So, of course, but I'm like, still, so you can't show a license of any kind.
Like, why can't you just leave in peace?
Right. Just leave in peace.
Like, you're there to teach a class. You ain't got to talk bad about anybody.
Which I don't know why she's teaching a class. So I did, in fact, email the school and say, someone who's not allowed to teach our methods, which we don't even have like our methods. We're not even that kind of extension company, but it's like, okay, this person really should not be teaching at all. Somebody's
claiming to be a representative of something that we've shown them.
Right.
And
I mean, it could be anybody
true.
else. If Caitlin wanted to, if you wanted to, even if anybody at the old Paseo, the South Salon, if they wanted to do it, that would be fine. But I'm like, somebody like that, no. And I'm just waiting for the reply.
Well, yeah, because I'm like, it's I think that we all should be mindful of how a flippant comment can be damaging and long lasting. So, not to be ugly, but I'm glad that this person doesn't have like a huge reputation or something, you know, on a grand platform.
But I'm just like, why lie? But, you know, whatever.
A lot of people like
and then she did say, well, And then she said, I'm working from home. And it's like, what happened to the other place?
When I get into, I'm like, if you dig a little deeper, which I hope people do, it's like, ask some questions and things won't add up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I still can't even get this person. I'm like, okay, so you're going to teach our extension class, but yet you don't even have a stylist license to buy hair.
I'm just saying. 2 + 2 = a bitch. Because they're not for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was going to say something, but I forgot. I mean, I got it off my chest. I feel good. I think God is working through me. Hey, little dog. Can y'all see little Jesus?
I know. It's so cute.
Little baby.
I have the opposite over here. If anybody likes Iron Maiden.
666.
Okay, so yeah, that's season's beatings.
Yeah. Now on the season's greetings.
Yes.
Oh, Christmas. I feel like you can't literally be in America and not talk about a Christmas story. Ralphie, the gun, snowball fights.
Isn't he doing another?
I heard, but I don't know.
Like, have you seen him now?
No.
Oh, dang. I should have brought a picture.
Okay, so let's start with your favorite Christmas movie.
Oh my God, this is so hard.
I don't actually have one.
I have like 2 or 3 or something, but I don't have like a one that I have to actually like watch all the time.
I don't have one that I want to watch all the time, but I guess like my fondest memory is Home Alone.
Oh, I love that one.
I just love Home Alone.
Home Alone is good.
On principle, like it is a great
No,
movie,
it is.
But I'm
It's
just
so
like,
good.
if I had to pick one outside of the box, but I guess it's not. But you know, like I
No.
grew up with it.
Yeah. I do love Bad Santa.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
No,
Or like Christmas with the Crunks or Cranks.
that's a good
something like
one
that.
with Tim Allen.
Okay, I've
That's
never
a
seen
good one.
Elf. People like to bite
It's
my
so
head off.
good. It's
Yeah.
so funny. And then I heard Elf. A lot of them in the city, they weren't extras that were hired.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, but if you've never seen it, but if you have seen it, just a lot of the extras in the movies when they're like in the city and the busy parts of downtown wherever they're filming, they're not extras, and it's just Will Ferrell being an elf and like
their
just messing with
reactions are
people,
genuine.
like because obviously, I mean, he's a big elf in a big city.
I did watch Violent Christmas.
What the hell is that?
So it's
Violent Christmas.
it's really funny, and I was super tired and I fell asleep in like 10 minutes of like the third act. But basically, the guy that adopts Eleven in Stranger Things is Santa Claus.
Okay.
But it's like grounded in like he actually used to be like a warrior, like back in the day. And he has like all this technology and he's like drinking in a bar or whatever. And like basically like this family has Christmas and there's a plot twist, so I can't even, but it's totally, but the grandma's really rich and she's a bitch and it's really funny. But basically they're trying to break into her home and they hold everybody hostage. So the mom and the dad are like getting a divorce, but they come together for their daughter, and their dad forgets to like, or her dad forgets to get her like a Christmas gift or something like that. And of course her wish is like, I want my parents to get back together. And you're like, oh shit. So he goes downstairs and he gets her a walkie-talkie because I guess she like didn't write her Christmas list. And he's like, I got you this. She's like, what's that? And he goes, even though you didn't write your Christmas list, you can talk to Santa through this. And it's like a headphone or whatever. So she like actually uses it. And somehow Santa's like in the home and they're like shooting everybody up. And like, she's like, Santa, if you can hear me. And he's like, hello, like from a phone. And he's like talking to her. And he like helps her like find all the bad
So it's
guys.
the real Santa?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a real Santa. Like, I don't know if there's like multiple, but he's like one of the real Santas. And he has like this magic bag and he can like pull his gifts out, but he like throws guys in there or whatever. But it's like really brutal. He like takes a sledgehammer because that was like his old like Norse like weapon. And he just like knocks them out. And I think maybe Mrs. Claus had died at one point because she like referenced her and she was like, do you have anybody that you love? You can do this. Act like you want to see them again. And it's like this montage of him just like, it was violent. And I was just like, what is this movie?
I mean, are there any good actors in it? Or anyone that we know?
Cam Higante from Burlesque.
I have seen Burlesque, but I couldn't.
He's the blonde one, and he walks through the house naked at one point.
Is he the one that gets with Christina Aguilera?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's cute.
He is, and that's the
And
only
he's
person
in
that
it.
I know besides Eleven's dad.
Oh, Violent Christmas.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
right
check
up
it
my
out.
alley.
Yeah.
Have you seen Four Christmases?
Who's in that?
Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon.
I think
so.
I
Both
have.
of their parents are divorced, and they
Yes.
go to 4 different ones.
Yes.
That one's really funny.
But you know what? They're not Christmas movies, but I actually really love going to the movies around Christmas.
Let's go see the new Whitney. Yes.
Yes.
I can't wait.
I'm really excited to see that.
I need to know if the actress is singing the tunes for
She's
real.
not.
She's
I
not?
don't- In none of the previews, she is. So I'm assuming that she's not.
Well,
What do you want, J-Lo to sing it?
man, J-Ho.
I mean, J Fleck.
Oh, yeah, J.
She changed her name. So
She did change it?
it's
How
Jennifer
romantic.
Affleck. It must be real this time.
I guess so. How would he sign his emails? Not going anywhere. Did you read that? No. She was like, this is how he would sign every email after we hooked back up. Not period, going period, anywhere, period. Like that's
might
how he
not
would
be, but
just.
she is.
Yeah. I still don't get why she left Mark Anthony. He's cute.
Oh, is he?
I
He
think
looks
he's
like
cute.
a bag of bones.
I know, but
I mean,
he's
it's
just
kinda
cute.
endearing.
He's just cute. I like his I don't know, Christmas.
What do you want for Christmas?
You know what I want is I always say like a vacation. You get blah blah. I want like a badass. I want like a nice bag. I don't know who's gonna buy it for me. Maybe I'll buy it for myself.
What
I want
bag?
like a Prada. I don't know which one.
Okay,
I don't.
okay. So pick 3.
Well, I don't know which, because I would have to like go online and look. I was just thinking the other day, I need a new bag because I have like my real nice ones. I've got a couple fakes. I mean, come on. But I do have my nice ones and then the fake ones, but I want like a new, nice, real one. I haven't got one in a long time. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was thinking. You know, my health, whatever.
Oh, yeah, okay. Those kind of gifts that can't be bought.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I'm just saying like, or maybe
I'm
that's
like,
what
that
I'm
was a good
thankful
one.
for. But no, for real, like a bag. I don't want like a never full. Everybody has those. I don't care. I've never liked them. I don't know.
I think it's harder when you get older, though, too, because I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel so self-sufficient. I'm like, why would I ask you for that? Like, I feel like a bitch.
Yeah, and then I just feel like I get a lot of things. Not that I get everything all year, but if I want something, I'm just like, ooh, Amazon, or oh this, or oh that. You know what I mean? I've been talking to my kids about they get everything that they want all year. So today, as a matter of fact, I had bought Lakin a pair of Beats AirPods, and I put them in her stocking. Not today. I bought them a couple weeks ago because she said she wanted them. Okay, whatever. And I mean, she's got other gifts under there. Well, her dad picked her up from school today, and he was supposed to bring her some AirPods to borrow, and he just went and bought her new ones. And I'm like,
Dude.
but I mean, and they get basically everything they want all year. So I told him next year, I don't even want to do gifts. Can't we just go on a nice vacation? Can we go to like Manhattan? I don't know, Vegas. I don't know, somewhere at the beach.
Like an experience.
Yeah. Make memories.
Almost like capture the Christmas spirit versus purchase it.
Everybody's been telling me to do Christmas in Vegas. And I'm like, with kids? And they're like, no, just everything's just so decorated. Not like they just go
Yeah.
all out with the decorations.
see that,
And the weather's not too crazy cold. I mean, the pools aren't open. Maybe some of them are. Yeah. But what about you?
A mini poodle. Someone to pay my booth rent for a year.
Oh my God, yes.
A Netflix subscription so I don't have to borrow everybody's. I don't know. Somebody pay off my car.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know. Things that I'm supposed to do myself. What else would I want for Christmas?
Can I just have a sugar daddy for Christmas?
Yeah, but like one that doesn't want anything but your time.
I mean, other stuff would be fine.
Was he hot?
Does it matter? Hey, as long as the hygiene is good, you know what I'm saying?
You must gonna have your eyes closed.
Because you can be good looking, but just be gross.
But here's the deal. If I'm in a sugar daddy situation,
maybe
I don't care how you act.
I just feel like if you're a sugar daddy, you're probably already gonna look good, halfway decent.
I was gonna say, it's like that saying that we've all heard. It's like you're not ugly or poor. So I'm like, yeah, if you're a sugar daddy, you're gonna be smelling good, well dressed. You probably got a bidet.
No, but then there's like these cute guys and hot older men, and I'm like, ugh. What, you bite your toenails or just nasty stuff? You know what I mean? But
that's impressive if they're that flexible.
Maybe.
Okay, but sign up because you like serial killers or whatever. We're talking about good looking people.
Don't like serial killers.
Okay, documentaries.
Yes.
I was on some Snapchat news and there was this TikToker that killed somebody. And he almost got away with it because they said he was too hot to be a killer. And like all the fans were like I wish I could remember his name, but they were like putting halos on him and all this stuff. And honestly, when you get to look at him, he looks like he would kill somebody. He has like these weird eyes. Like, we said the crazy eyes is a real thing. But like, it was like almost like he killed like 2 people. I don't know.
He killed men or women?
I don't know. But the judge was like, you robbed 2 people of their voice, blah, 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 by your egregious act. And like, it was like so romantic. I think like the jury was even kind of like influenced. Like, you know how they can't, but I'm like,
oh, they do that stuff all the time.
Oh yeah. It was just
crooked.
Like, he's young, he's pretty, he doesn't deserve to die, he doesn't deserve this. And I was like, dang, what is that?
I feel like if you take a life, you kind of deserve. If you're a serial killer, if you're killing people, I know things have car wrecks or whatever, but like. Yeah. If you're just going after people.
If you were intentionally trying
But was he really good looking?
He was cute. He looked like every other TikTok boy.
But what do you expect a serial killer to look like?
That's what I'm saying.
Like this? Like the crazy, like how do you...
Like a hoe?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. They were saying, oh, Ted Bundy was so good. Maybe he was good looking in the 70s.
That's what I'm saying. Of that time, because even I looked at Dahmer, everybody's like, Dahmer was cute. And I'm like, Evan Peters Dahmer's cute, but he's cute of this time.
Yeah. So you already know him from other. What is the... Okay, so there was this one on Facebook, and it was like, I just saw it the other day. It was this good-looking guy, super hot, and they were like, and it wasn't, I think it might have even been in Australia, but it was like some sort of a police department that was like, if you see this man, he's wanted for, weapons and drugs, and like all these women and men were like, well, if I see him, I'm lucky. And, nobody even cared.
Choke me out.
Yeah, they were just like, really, is he that day? This girl's like, hide out at my house. She's putting her whole address on there and her phone number. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Is he dangerous? Dangerous? Probably not to people, but he probably was wanted for drugs and whatever. I don't know.
I'm thinking about like photocopying that girl and being like, if you see her, call OKCPD.
The girl that we talked about earlier?
Just for fun.
Well,
I wonder what happened.
The fashion
Crime
police.
Stoppers.
Oh, yeah.
The lace front police.
No, there wasn't one. I don't know.
Let's stay on track. Because honestly, my favorite part of Christmas is trying to catch Santa breaking and entering. Something sexy about somebody, some man bringing me gifts
would you
while
let
I'm in
Santa
bed.
be your daddy? Honestly.
I probably couldn't get past the stomach. I don't need that hit in the back of my head.
Yeah, that's true.
We could share a meal though. Little
totally.
milk and cookies.
Milk and cookies, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'd keep them up at night. I'd be like, what's your ETA, Daddy?
Yeah, don't fall asleep yet.
I'm waiting for your North Pole. I don't know why I act like a hoe on a boat.
You don't.
I kind of want, you know what? This is so weird, but I kind of like that Peloton guy.
Peloton.
The one that talks like that. He's always like nasty and he's like, oh, twerk it out, blah, blah, blah. He's like really famous.
Oh, I love him because he talks shit.
Yeah, I'm just like, he does more talking than peddling.
Yeah, he's like, heads up, tits up, let's fuck it up.
Exactly.
Like, he's just like, and he's like, get your fat asses going. Like, I mean, he's like mean to these poor women. I think it's mainly women who join his class. What's his name? Christian? No, I can't think of what it is.
Holy about him.
I thought you were talking about the Peloton guy. I thought you were talking about Mr. Big because he died on it, but never mind. I don't know why I was like, why are we? Yeah.
You know who that made me think of? Billy Blanks and Sean T.
Who's that?
Sean T is the one that used to do the infomercials for Billy Blanks was Tyba, but what was it
Billy
like
Blanks, yeah.
But what was Sean T? He would do like the 90-day whatever.
Power PX?
No, that was the other hot guy. The fitness guy with the dark hair, and he seemed really tall.
Chuck Norris? Oh.
Hell no, that's Bowflex.
Oh, is it?
Remember Susan Sarandon? No, that wasn't. Susan, Thigh Blaster, Thigh Master.
What is her name? I can't even.
Hello from between your thighs.
She was on Three's Company. That's going to annoy me now because now I can't even remember. But I know who you're talking about.
Butt Blaster, you're a mean one. Mr. Clinch.
That's funny.
How many Christmas carols can I ruin?
Or make better.
Ooh, yeah.
Christmas, yeah. What are you doing for Christmas?
Absolutely.
Or this will air probably
the day
after Christmas. So
yeah, actually, if it airs the day after, y'all need to just comment what y'all got so I know whose house to rob.
Exactly.
Actually, I really am too lazy to do that. I don't even know. Maybe I want a new bed set.
Ooh.
Somebody needs to comment some links to a good comforter, duvet. Matter of fact,
have you tried the weighted blankets?
Yeah, but I've just I don't like my feet feeling trapped. I can't sleep with socks. Something about my ankles. I can't even do really high top shoes.
Yeah.
I'd rather break my ankles.
I get that. This sounds so cliche, but Josh asked me what I wanted. And I was like, oh, well, we should just get each other gym memberships. Like we're going to use them. But they're putting a burn boot camp by my house. And I was like, I didn't know that they were that expensive per month. They're like $179 a month, just like everything else.
Did you send back your mirror, or is it still there?
No, man, I still got it.
Hell yeah.
I might just give it to you if you want it. I don't. If I had a room to use it in, I would use it.
Yeah.
But it's only just in our bedroom, and that's it. It's actually hard. I mean, the videos are good on there.
You know what? I don't know if this was shade, but one Christmas I got a Wii Fit, and I fucking love that thing.
I think that's good too. That's the one that you could you still
you could do
Wii
Sports, you could do the Wii Yoga, and then there was the exercise, but it measured you. Man, that thing was bad if you had disordered eating because I would weigh myself religiously.
Oh, really?
That weight sure did plummet.
Well, dang. I can't do a scale.
I love getting on the scale.
Really?
Yeah, trigger warning. Nobody listen to the things I do to my body. You'll be like me, 35 and fucked.
You are not.
Man, I don't know. I think the doctor thinks I'm crazy.
Why?
Because I'm always on some crash diet.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like everybody is.
Well, especially after the holidays. That's what I don't look forward to is which we'll get into it later, New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, that's the next episode. It all comes too much. It's like, what are we thankful for? And then Christmas, and then
it's too front loaded.
New Year, new me.
You know what the funniest thing, which I need to say for the next episode, but I used to always start my diets on the 1st. Mm-hmm. My friend convinced me that the 1st is actually the 2nd. Like you make your resolution and then you start on the 2nd. And I was like, hell yeah, extra day to whatever. And then I was telling people how excited I was because it made sense to me. And they were like, you're an idiot. And so I didn't go through with my resolution because I said I already messed up.
I don't even ever make resolutions. I don't really feel like.
I like me, so there is no new me. There's an evolving
I love me. I mean, kind of.
I love aspects of me.
True.
And whoever dates me is going to have to love pieces of me because there's only so much heart left to break. Anyways.
I think Christmas was my favorite holiday growing up, though, because
Why is that?
I think growing up, I'm not saying like probably ages from whenever I can remember till about 10. Because, I think family was like always together. My parents weren't divorced. My grandpa was still alive, like all of that. And so everybody really was like together. Maybe they were drinking, maybe they weren't, but everybody was together and having a good time.
Holiday cheer.
And then I remember like in middle school and high school, my friends would be like, oh, my family just like fights whenever they're together. And I'm like, what?
Sounds fun.
And then now it's like, now I get it. We don't fight, obviously, on the holidays, but we have a smaller family.
Yeah.
But I do miss those Jerry Springer episodes where they would like sit at the big table with like all the food and then they would just have a big food fight. I'm like, can someone do that, please?
My favorite Jerry Springer's when they do the rap and she was like, on the 12th day of Christmas, my boyfriend gave to me 12 months of rent, 11 weaves, whatever, 5 pack of nails. And a man with a lot of money.
Oh, that's good. No, that was always my favorite, the holiday, because they would just, I don't even think it was about a holiday. It was just on Christmas and they had like this big plate of food and then Santa would like, Steve, the security guy, would dress up as Santa. So Santa would be breaking them up and food would go flying. Yeah, that was funny.
You know what shows I miss, speaking of Jerry Springer? Jenny Jones.
Oh my gosh, she's so good.
Ricky Lake.
Yeah, she's good too.
Dang, who was the other one? Did you see that HBO Max or like something is about to release a documentary about Miss Cleo?
Oh, I love Miss Cleo.
Call me now for your free tarot reading.
I love Miss Cleo. They need an E! True Hollywood story about her. They need to bring E! True Hollywood story back too.
I know.
Oh. So normally we talk about shows that we watch in the beginning, but since it's close to the end, we have a few more minutes.
We didn't even do a weekend recap.
We didn't, but this, whatever. Ho, ho, ho.
My head off.
White Lotus. Like I can't even.
Okay, for those of you, because this episode will air. I mean, it happened like very recently.
Right.
So.
No, it'll still be fresh though. It'll still be fresh.
All the memes crack me up because they're like, what's Jennifer Coolidge's character?
Tanya.
They're like, Tanya jumping and they're like, and the stairs were right there.
Right. Because
Like,
I think she's just, I don't know, anybody who does listen to our show that happens to watch that show, like that's probably one of my favorite shows. HBO Max has just been putting it out.
HBO Max really hits the mark. And I love that it's
really
not like
do.
oversaturated with shows. I mean, I feel like you go to Netflix and there's just like so much you want to watch. And then I'm the type of person, I'm like, I don't even want to watch it. But HBO Max, I'm like, you can really sift through what you like.
Right.
And just their production is great.
Right.
But
they have Euphoria, which is obviously groundbreaking and like, really good. And I can't wait for the season 3 to come out. And then they have White Lotus. And that's good. And it's a totally different.
Short-lived ones. Like I did like The Time Traveler's Wife.
Yeah.
It was gratuitous, but it was also just, I liked where it was going. I wish they could finish it. The Sex Life of College Girls, I started watching that. It's actually really good and funny.
Yeah.
I think it's sex positive, especially for women. Yeah, I can't think of some other ones, but it's nice to explore on HBO Max.
Here's the thing about Netflix is so, everyone probably thinks I'm weird because yes, it's like you watch one thing and it's like their algorithm brings all of those other shows to you. Mm-hmm. So now I'm getting nothing but like serial killers, crime, which is good. I mean, we all still like to watch that too, but that's like all that is up on the Netflix now. And it's like, now I don't even know what to search because it's
hard to explore, I feel like, because they're like, I think you get sidetracked. I mean, I guess the app is doing its job. You're supposed to get lost in it.
Right. Cause it is an app. I mean, HBO is, it is an app that you can search, but it's only the shows that are actually produced. I feel like anybody can just produce a show and then just Netflix will air it now. And they say it's a Netflix, but
I think what I'm seeking for myself is to get almost tired of an app and it keeps engaging me. And I'm like, I just Can't make a decision, so I'm done.
Well, yeah, I think that's the job of social media. And I mean, because that stuff is still kind of like a social media.
It really is because, again, it keeps the conversation going.
Mm-hmm.
Because now we're talking about watching Bad Vegan.
Yeah.
That's our goal.
I did start it. And I know that it's an old one, but I did start it. And so far, I'm like, I only watched the one episode and it's already like intense.
Like camping.
Camping?
Intense.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what's your fondest Christmas memory? What's your fondest and least fond memory?
Okay. That's, what's really sad is my least fondest can immediately come up.
Probably not funny.
No. My fondest, it's hard to pick. Probably the last few years, the last 10 years, and then any time growing up was great. But I can't really pin it down to one memory because I do have a lot of good ones in family and stuff. Probably my least fondest memory is I think I was about 24.
Okay. Come on, flashbacks.
24. Not many people know that I had just gotten a divorce. Not many people know that I was married back then. Story for another time.
Yeah.
Wasn't bad, but
Side note, I remember how I found that out. It was somebody that knew you from the past. And it was just like, she was like, remember when? And I was like, she is yelling across
I know.
the
She's
whole
always
salon.
telling my fucking business. I'm so glad that I don't do her hair anymore. I'm like, why do you have to?
Because literally I was like, that's the
She's
only
like,
time.
Tracy came in one time and like brought this strange guy over to our house. And I'm like, okay.
And she started talking about the front
I'm like
yard
20
and
years
something.
ago.
Yeah.
I'm
I was like, oh. And that was the one time like you were
Not
just
that
like,
I care
I'm
what
trying.
anybody thinks, but I'm like, why are we
Because
talking
she kept
about this
going
right
on and on, and you were like, I'm just about to do
But
her hair.
she
and
did
be
it
done.
every appointment. Like, that's why I never double booked her with people because she'd be like, well, did you know that I used to be Tracy's roommate? I'm like, okay, great. She's going to tell some embarrassing story, which I'm not very easily embarrassed, but I'm like, okay, anyway.
It's like, why do we relive the same thing over and over again?
So we had just divorced probably 2 months before. And then, because I was a bad girl and I was dating somebody the last few months while we were married. And then he decided he didn't want to be with me anymore. So I was alone on Christmas Day. And I had all these Christmas presents that I had bought for him. And I was like, damn, the liquor store ain't open. I'm like, I'll just fucking sit here. Because my mom, her and I, that another story for another time, but we didn't talk. And
Meet your mother.
yeah, that's gonna be a podcast episode is meeting Terry.
Ooh, TT, Tracy and Terry.
But I don't know why I was so sad that day because I've been alone on Christmas before, and I've worked on Christmas and like things like that. But that was just, I think it was all self-reflecting too.
It was like sinking in.
I kind of fucked up. Him and I were going to divorce either way, but I was like, we still could have been friends. And, and then here's this douche who I ended up having 2 kids with later on. But it's just, I think I was really sad that day because I was like, I really have nothing to do and it's Christmas and not that I even needed to do something. I'm like, I have no one to be with. Not even my dog.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So what was the good part? What's the fond memory? I was going to say I hate eggnog. I remember people trying to get me to drink eggnog.
One of my fondest memories actually was me and my brother drove to Tulsa. It was when my grandma was still alive and my mom was still halfway normal. And we actually went there and we went out to eat at Golden Corral of all places. And then we went to some casino in Sand Springs. It wasn't River Spirit. It was like a tiny one. And we literally just sat there all day and just played at the casino. It was just fun. We had a good time. My mom wasn't drinking.
Okay.
And my grandma never drank. Me and my brother obviously weren't. And we just like sat there like all day and we just had a bunch of laughs. That was good. That was a good time.
Take a walk and close your eyes. I'll set the scene. I believe it was the Christmas that my parents had just divorced or the year of their divorce. And I think like I want to say like a good mother, like women just like make miracles happen. I don't know to this day how my mom did what she did, but I think any good parent who put their kids first, they just keep the magic going. But anyways, I loved Power Rangers at the time the movie was out. I watched it nonstop, whatever. I was into wrestling. Later, come to find out why I was into it, singlets and man panties. But anyway, and me and my brother didn't get along. Like, we didn't fight, but we were just at this age where I was just like, I can't, 7 years apart, whatever. And I actually really felt really guilty. So we had this big, huge Christmas tree. We didn't really have much, but she was like doing it. And I just remember waking up and I had no clue where she hid all these gifts, but probably our living room was like the size of this studio without furniture or whatever. And I mean, when I tell you, like, it was up to an adult's waist, and like I couldn't walk out of my room, and there was wrapped gifts everywhere. And it's like I felt like such a big asshole because my mom bought me and my brother 2 of each gift because she knew we didn't like to share. And I told her, like, take it all back, like, I'll learn to share. And she bought me, like, every Power Ranger Megazord that there was. And I was, like, spending all morning, like, putting the stickers on. The movie was on. She was cooking. She had her big camcorder on, like, whatever. And then she would buy herself gifts, and she'd pretend like she didn't know. And then she was like, oh, my God, Santa got me these things. And I'm, like, 8, holding this camcorder, like, looking like, ah. That was a fond memory.
Oh, that is sweet.
Yeah.
What's your non-fond?
Besides eggnog, my non-fond memory, I think, honestly, like, I never like threw a fit, but I always hated reflecting on how I wasn't as grateful as I should have been. Because there were years that I was just like expecting big things, even though I didn't ask for them. Like I was like, almost like I was sad to ask or like afraid to ask, and I actually didn't get it. And I was just like, oh yeah, cool. Socks.
Yeah.
But also my birthday was in February, so I was kind of like mad because I was like, I know I'm going to get it for my birthday, but it's Christmas. So whatever.
Yeah.
But I like love it. Also, another big lesson that I learned is that, you know, everybody's like, oh, you'll grow up and you'll get tougher, whatever, blah, blah. And I was like, you know, it never stops hurting as much. You just like learn to deal with it better. And I'm kind of grateful for that. That's like a weird thing to be like, oh, whatever. It's like the things that hurt your feelings, like you kind of like gain perspective on it. You just like learn to move on.
You do, and maybe
all
that's
the same.
Well, and maybe that's like being an adult. You do know how to hold stuff in, you know?
Yeah.
But I also think like even, I don't know what it's like to be a man, but I feel like my boyfriend's very emotional and I always give him shit for it, but I probably shouldn't because men are emotional too, you know? And he gets it. And I know he's going to be emotional this Christmas because it's the first Christmas without his mom.
Oh my gosh.
And so, you know, and he's a big ball of like tears regardless.
Shout out to Josh's mom.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what, too? I'm like, you bring up a good point. Let people be emotional, especially men. Let them be vulnerable. Because I'm like, would you rather a hole be punched in your wall? Because I'm like, they just kind of build up. It's like,
well, right. But also I think like people expect men to just be like tough and not, and if they do show emotion, they're either a psycho or a vagina. But that's not always, but that's not always the case. You know, it's like, well, you know, men are people too.
they are. Somebody sent me this really cool thing. It's like, this is the most random, like, themed episode we'll probably do. But somebody was saying, like, let men be men and then you assess if you're attracted to them, like, relationship-wise. Because, like, this guy was saying, like, it's funny how these women like will get with these men and then they complain that the men don't have masculine energy. It's like, well, you never recognize that he had like feminine energy. Like, not that he's like, you know, dainty or just like outwardly like expressing, but it's like if he's a sensitive soul and you're like, well, I always got to take charge into this. Like, have you seen him for who he was, or you're trying to make him be like a man?
Yeah.
And it's like, I know it sounds kind of like maybe hypocritical, but like, let's just like learn not to be the bully in relationships.
Yeah, because no one's perfect.
No, and I mean, like, sometimes it's unintentional, but I'm like, let's do some introspection. And I think that's a good kind of note to end on about the holidays. It's like, let's look inside about what it's really about. Because I'm like, don't get me wrong, we like all these things, but I'm like, let's work on like the connection and the bond and like who it is that we're buying for and why we're buying for them or trying to spend time with them. And it's like, if you're thinking about them, let them know. I think that's really important too, because the holidays can seem really lonely even when you're surrounded by a bunch of people.
Oh, totally.
And so I think that really like gets me.
Or seem lonely, like if maybe they just want to hear like a thank you or like, how are you doing? You know, because that can go a long way.
Because I mean, it is like the most wonderful time, but I think it's bittersweet. I think so, because I'm like,
it is, but it's also, like, it is stressful.
It is stressful because I hate like kind of the monetization. I think a lot of people go into debt to make people temporarily happy, but I think that it's more so the thought that counts. You know, it's like I've gotten really good gifts, but I think it was because I liked the gift, but it was like I was seen, I was heard. I mean, one time I got like I used to love to draw, I still do, but I got a pencil. And I was like, I just wanted this pencil. And it made my day. It was my favorite color. It was exactly, and I'm like, I didn't even know you were paying attention. Like I just said it like, oh, I like this. And I'm like, when did you pick this up?
Yeah, that's nice.
But it gives me hope because I'm like, every time Christmas comes around, I'm like, I hope people can carry the spirit throughout the year. Like I hope that it extends a month or two longer until we can kind of get to a place. So that's always like my goal of Christmas is just like be sweet.
Extend it to Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and then like let Valentine's Day recharge you. But I'm like, everybody trying to get a steak and then a tube steak, you know, whatever. Anyways, should we call it?
I think that's it. So
okay, well, hold your loved ones tight.
Yes.
Befriend an enemy. I don't know. You probably have more in common. You'll learn things you never knew. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. As always, be safe. Thank you for listening. Gracias.
We love you.
Bye.